Hello, and welcome back to 2 Minutes on Books with Patrice. Well, I haven't talked about what I read in January yet, so let's get started. I completed 4 books and I pushed a fifth one to another month because my book buddy requested that. So let's start off. I have 2 religious themed books. The first one I am going to count along with my biographies this year. I learned about this man from a very old television show, and so I looked him up and I realized that there was a book about him, and that is Solanus Casey. This is the story of Father Solanus by Catherine M. Odell. And this book was so good. I teared up several times reading this book. Um, yeah, and he is still being considered for sainthood. It's a long process. But at any rate, I'm not a Catholic, but I was still very much into this book. I highly recommend it. The next book is a fiction book, and this is the Kingdom Come series. This is book one, and this is considered Christian fiction. This is called The Thrones in the Desert by Doug Peterson, and I read this with, trying to get the glare off of it. I read this with Rachel, and we liked the book okay. It was, I think I gave it a little more, a better rating than she did. She gave it like 3 stars. I gave it like 3.5 stars, and that is out of 5 because I used the Goodreads rating system. And um, we just were not invested enough in the extra characters, the characters that, made up the story besides the biblical characters, if that makes sense. So, yeah, we decided not to continue with the series, but it was okay. Then next, I read, and most of my books were buddy reads in January. I read Althea. I read this with Columbus, and the subtitle is The Life of Tennis Champion Althea Gibson by Sally H. Jacobs. This is like a 4.5 star read for me. The chapters were just extremely long. By the time you got to the end of a chapter, if you didn't use tabs or highlight or take notes or something, you were probably like, what in the world did I read? Because the chapters are just so long. And so we made it through. I do recommend it. There's a lot about African American history and racism of the time, and there are really great happy moments, but there are also sad moments. So, very informative, and I highly recommend it. And then I started off reading We Refuse, A Forceful History of Black Resistance by Kelly Carter Jackson. I was reading this with Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading, but so much is going on, so we had to push it to another month. Maybe March, maybe April, we'll see. And then lastly, I listened to an audiobook. Beth Macy, who is really famous for her book Dopesick, she has written a memoir called Paper Girl, and I listened to that on audio, and I give it 4 stars. You really have to be invested in her. I just took a chance because it was available, and it was interesting. I just get really surprised at people who want to tell everything, even though their families don't want them to tell everything. And so I was like, too much information, too much information. But I gave it 4 stars. And if you're interested in memoirs or interested in Beth Macy, then take a chance. So that's how January was. There's no way in the world I could keep this at 2 minutes. So yeah, let me know if there was something really great that you think I might be interested in that you read in January. Thanks to all my new subscribers, and thanks for watching.